Today we're going to make some Dutch oven apple pie using the apple pie filling that I prepared and canned this year. I'll show you how to do that next year when I do it. What you need for this recipe, for the crust, is a cup of flour, a quarter cup of sugar, a quarter cup of brown sugar, and a third of a cup of butter. And once we have the crust prepared and we put it in the Dutch oven and bake it for about 10 minutes, then we add the apple pie filling. As you can see, we have the coals ready. While we're making the crust, we need to preheat the camp oven. We'll be using the 12-inch camp oven. So we need to preheat it to about 350 degrees. So what I'm going to do is put 7 or 8 coals underneath and 16, 18 coals on top. Now we have our camp oven preheating. We have 16 to 18 coals on top and 7 or 8 coals on the bottom. So we'll get started on our crust. This is an easy crust to make. It's a crumbly, sugary crust, gives it a nice crunchy texture. Of course, you can use regular pie crust. All depends on what you like. So we'll go ahead and get started. We have our cup of flour here. We just add the sugar, the brown sugar, and the butter. And the butter softened a little bit. And just mix this all together. Until it's good and crumbly. So I'll be back when we get to that point. Now it looks pretty good. What you want is for when you push it that it stays together, and it's doing that pretty well. So now I have a pie pan that I greased with some vegetable shortening to keep it from sticking. We just want to push this into the pie pan, and when I get it all pushed in and where I want it to be, I'll be back. That looks pretty good now. So what we're going to do is put it into the camp oven and bake it for about 10 minutes. And what that will do is mix all the butter and the sugar together and give it a solid crust so that we can add the pie filling to it. Alright, our camp oven is all preheated now, so I'm just going to go ahead and stick the pie crust in. Just put it right down there, right on the bottom of the camp oven, and we'll be back in about 10 minutes to give it a look. Alright, it's been about 10 minutes, so we're going to go ahead and take a look at it. Looks pretty good. It smells good. So we'll go ahead and pull it out and add the apple pie filling. Also, to cook the pie, we're going to need it about 425 degrees, so I'm going to add some more coals. Probably 4 or so to the bottom, and maybe 6 on the top. I'll go ahead and do that, and we'll get that warming up while we put the pie filling into the crust. Here's our canned pie filling. It was canned in October of this year. I already opened it just to make sure that I could, and it was sealed, and the lid popped when I took it off. So we'll go ahead and put this in the crust. That looks pretty yummy. And you can, make all this stuff from scratch, the pie filling from scratch. That's also a good way to do it. I just have 4 apple trees and have to have stuff to do with my apples, so this is one of the things I do with it, and then you have ready-made pie anytime. We also have some of the crust left, so I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit of that over the top. And we're going to put this back in the camp oven and cook it for 40 to 50 minutes. And we're going to come out every 10 minutes or so and turn the lid a quarter of a turn and the oven a quarter of a turn. Keep it all cooking evenly, and we'll see how it goes. Alright, our camp oven's been preheating to around 425. I'll take the lid off of there. Put that right down in there. Careful not to touch the sides, because it's hot. Go ahead and cover it up, and we'll be back in 10 minutes. Well, it's been 10 minutes on the apple pie, so we're going to turn the lid a quarter of a turn and the oven a quarter of a turn. Then we'll be back in 10 more minutes. Now it's been 10 more minutes, so we're going to turn and turn. Another 10 and we'll be back. It's been 10 more minutes, making it a total of 30 now. So I'm going to turn and turn. Then I'm going to come back in 10 minutes and then we'll take a look at it and see what it looks like. It's been another 10 minutes, total of 40 now, so I'm going to go ahead and open it up and see what it looks like. Looks pretty good, but I don't think it's quite done yet. What I'm going to do is put some more coals on the top and the bottom and let it go for another 10 minutes. I just put the rest of the coals I had going on, a few more on the bottom and some on the top. I put most on the top so that we can try to get the top crisped up a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it, and then we'll be back in 10 minutes. It's been another 15 minutes, so I'm going to go ahead and take a look at it, see where we're at. Yum, that looks pretty good. And it smells wonderful. What I'm going to do is just let it coast from here. It's not quite as crispy on top as I'd like, so I'm going to let it go for another 10 minutes and we'll see where it's at. So we'll turn and turn, and then we'll be back. Well, it's been a total of an hour now. I'm going to take another look at it and see where we're at. As you can see, it's starting to get a little brown on top. I think with the coals cooling down, I'm just going to turn and turn and leave it for another 10. And then we'll be back. Well, it's been another 15 minutes. I can smell it. That's usually a good sign. I think that's looking pretty good. So I'm just going to leave it just like that. We'll take it out of the Dutch oven and set it on the counter and let it cool. Here's the apple pie. Looks quite yummy. And cooked in a camp oven. Who knew?